Hey everyone, it's Mike Barletta back with an overview of the Thanksgiving forecast. Now, this is going to be a rather quick video. I'm just going to quickly overview everything that I believe is going to happen with Thanksgiving, what I'm seeing in the models, what I'm seeing in the teleconnections, and overall what I believe is going to happen during this time period. Now, before we get into it, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would really help out a small growing channel such as myself. Also, before we get into it, one last thing I want to mention, I did come out with a December forecast outlook for the whole month as well as a winter outlook. So if you guys are interested in that, those will be linked in the description as well as currently be on the top right of your screen if you guys want to go watch that after you finish this video. Alright, let's get right into it. Alright, so quickly getting into the forecast, we're going to start off on the west coast. As you can see in all of the orange colors, most of Texas, a lot of the central uh, portions of the United States I have in this orange color. This orange color signifies above average temperatures. Now, the reason I believe this, a lot of this forecast was based off of ensemble trends as well as partially teleconnections. But the ensembles between the European ensembles and the GFS ensembles, which are basically an average of a bunch of models put together, and that is called the ensemble. And I used the ensemble mean and averaged it out. This is what it came to. So in the orange, we're looking at above average temperatures. I have pretty high confidence in this forecast, even though Thanksgiving's only a week out. There seems to be a lot of agreement in above average temperatures for this area, as well as southern Florida. I believe are going to be above average. Now, by how much is it going to be blazing hot? That's a little too early to tell, but since we're still a week out, I just wanted to give a general overview of what's going to happen during this time period. So, west, I have above average temperatures, could be 2 to 3 degrees, or some of the GFS ensembles are showing 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Really don't know yet. We could pinpoint something like that as we get closer. There could be some precipitation, specifically in the northern portions of these areas, such as Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska. Could be some precipitation there, and some precipitation further south, such as in and around Texas. But as of right now, I don't think that's going to happen. Once again, still a week out. There is a small storm signal, but as of right now, I don't have that included. Moving east, also a big proponent in the ensembles that I saw when I was making this forecast was a cool and dry most of the eastern third of the country, between the northeast and the western half of the country. A lot of cool conditions, dry conditions. Now the strength of how cold it is varies greatly between the models. The European ensembles have it much, much, much cooler than the GFS ensembles do. In a good portion of the southeast, we're seeing values -10 to -20 degrees below the average for this time of year, which is still relatively warm, but just a real anomaly for a lot of these areas. I also think what backs up the fact that it's going to be cool and dry in these areas is looking and taking a look at the northeast. There's going to be a storm departing the region on Thanksgiving. So behind that storm, we're going to see areas of higher pressure, and with that comes cooler air and dry conditions. There could still be a little leftover rain, some showers, particularly in the eastern section of cool and dry, but I would say as of right now, the majority of Thanksgiving is going to stay dry and be a little below normal. Nothing crazy for most of the region besides the deep southeast. That's where we could get those higher negative values. Last but not least, moving on to the northeast, I also have a rather high confidence in this area. Almost all of the operational models, as well as their ensembles, show a storm departing right as Thanksgiving rolls around. Now, for a lot of these areas, I think the temperature is going to be about average. We could see above average temperatures east of wherever the low pressure is. A lot of models pin it around eastern New York to New England, in and around there. So east of there should be above average. West of wherever that low pressure ends up should be average to slightly below average. As of right now, it's way too early to tell. We're still a week out from the storm and a week away from Thanksgiving, so things will change. Things will shift around a bit, especially in the region with possible precipitation. That's where I would expect the most changes. But as of right now, this was just to give everyone a general overview of my beliefs on what's going to happen. connections also support a lot of these. We're going to have a negative NAO that supports cool in the east, a little warmer in the west, as well as a neutral AO, which means the NAO is going to have a little bit more of an influence on our weather. Now, all of these areas are subject to some change, but I don't think, especially a week out, that we're going to see any major changes. I could definitely see precipitation being held back a little bit more, speeding up a little bit. These areas are prone to shifting around, but I tried to make them as general as possible just to give everyone a general idea of what type of travel conditions to expect, what kind of temperatures to expect on the busiest travel day of the year. Now, unfortunately, this was a pretty short video. There wasn't a whole lot to go over. I just wanted to give everyone a general idea. I'll definitely be coming out with more content in the days to come. We're going to be seeing a possible snowstorm this weekend for portions of the Northeast, snow and ice. So definitely stay tuned for that. If you guys like the content that I'm sharing, please make sure to like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and also follow me on Twitter at MikeBWeather. Alright, you guys have a great one.